welcome you to episode number 4 of Running in Japan. And I am Kevin O'Shea, aka Busan Kevin on YouTube. I'm coming to you from Kobe, Japan, and joining me is...
Scott Brown from Osaka, Japan. Samurai Running.
Excellent, excellent. And yeah, it's episode number 4, and we kind of changing things around a bit, trying to get a bit more structure. And you'll notice in the final version, recorded, edited version, a bit of that structure to this episode. So here we are, Running in Japan. I guess why would we call this show Running in Japan? For all those who haven't watched it yet, we are two runners who live in Japan. I'm from Canada, and my beer cozy proves that. And Scott, where are you from?
From Australia, Sydney. My beer cozy has nothing to do with that.
There we go.
There you go. But yeah, that's it. But I've been here in Japan since first came in 1989. I was here for 3 years, 3 or 4, and then went back to Australia and came back in 1997. I've been here ever since. It's a long time, longer than most people who tell me or ask me, "Can you use chopsticks?" Have here. Right.
Right on, right on. Okay. Yeah, I've been here myself for, I don't know, 4.5 years. I've been in Asia since 2002, but I spent my first 5 and a bit years living in South Korea. Today, I guess we'll start off today talking about our training right now, our current training. So both Scott and I are training for Osaka Marathon 2012, which is on November 25th of this year.
Yeah.
And
is it 25th?
yeah, it's the 25th, which is, as I look at my calendar, 25th Osaka Marathon, right on my calendar.
What's that? 8 weeks from now.
8 weeks from now, yeah. So, and now we have a few viewers on. Hey guys out there watching, guys and gals. Osaka Marathon is coming in about 8 weeks, and we're both training for it. And what I think very interesting about this is we have two kind of very different training stories, I suppose. Scott is more on the elite side of running, and I assume you're gunning for a PR this time, of course.
Yep, I'll try.
You'll try. I have kind of given up on that, and I'm planning on just running this one and having a good time. My mileage, weekly mileage, is quite a bit lower than Scott's, but hey, we're kind of at where I am right now. Running is a very different place from where Scott is. So my training last week, how did it go? It didn't go so well, as in I only ran about 50 kilometers last week, and my final run of the week would have been just a 22K run on Saturday, and it was a lot of fun actually, that run, because it was the first time I did a kind of a longer run with someone. I've never run a long run with someone before, and my coworker, one of my coworkers from the United States, is training for his first marathon ever. He's never run a marathon, and he got into the second round of the Kobe Marathon lottery. So he didn't get in the first round. The second round he did get in. And so he's training for the Kobe Marathon. Now he's a pretty fit guy overall anyway. He's an athlete. He plays a lot of futsal. He plays Australian football, and he used to go running, every once in a while, maybe a couple of times a week anyway. I think just kind of keep his fitness up for futsal. So he's been training, and we ran together. That was the longest he's ever run. So I ran at his pace. So we ran 22 kilometers at about a 5:55 pace per kilometer, and he did really well. We ran actually from Akashi to Kobe Station. So we took a train from Akashi because I wanted to run. That's a lot of the. We ran along a lot of the course for the Kobe Marathon because I ran it last year, so I knew. So we ran along that course, obviously on the sidewalk, not in the middle of the road. Didn't want to get hit by a car, I kind of showed him, like, you'll be running here, you'll be running here. And but what the problem was that only about 3 or 4 kilometers into that run, my Achilles my right foot started feeling really, really tender, and the pain kind of came and went. And by the end of the run, I was feeling pretty good actually. No pain in my Achilles. And then I woke up in the middle of the night on Saturday night. Literally woke up in the middle of the night because my foot hurt so much. And
Or something.
by yesterday morning, I could barely put any weight on my foot. Just standing up, just pain shooting through kind of the bottom of my foot around where my toes are. And I've had this before. It happened a few, more than a few years ago, but I've had some soft tissue issues, tendon issues. But I had to go and do my school sports day yesterday. And I was limping. And part of that sports day is actually a race, a relay race, a parents versus teachers relay race, which I had to run. But actually, to be honest, it wasn't that bad. And today, I woke up and felt a bit of pain in my foot, but I was able to walk normally, no limp, and actually walked 9 kilometers today with my wife.
You said your pain's in your toes. What's that? That's from your Achilles.
Not my toes. See, this is a mixture. I think maybe it's another injury. Not at my toes, but kind of in the bottom of my foot, closer towards my toes. Which years ago, when I first had this injury, I basically injured some tendons in the bottom of my foot, and maybe possibly that's coming back to haunt me. I don't know. But tomorrow, I might not go tomorrow. I think Wednesday I'll go out for like a slow 5K, and then we'll see what happens. But that was my week.
You remember last week you were talking about Dean, how do you pronounce his name?
Karnazes?
Karnazes?
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, I know him a little bit. I've read one of his books. But somebody sent me a link the other day, and they said, how to avoid injuries, right? And he gives you, like, 3 things how to avoid injuries. But he's never had an injury, never, in his life, except for blood blisters when he's run. That's it.
Really?
So, I mean, he says cross-train, and he says, I forget, I can send you the link again, but it's just amazing. I think some people just built not to get hurt, maybe. I don't know what it is.
Well, this is interesting right now. I'm getting some messages. I'm wondering why there's no one watching the show right now. There's only 3 people. Cajun Gaijin is leaving some comments, and I appreciate it, Cajun Gaijin. He said there was a glitch. So he lives in Nadaken, and he does a live show on Sunday nights, and he said there was a glitch last night where people couldn't access it on his YouTube channel. Like, they click and they can't watch it. Because normally we'd have about 30 or 40 people watching by now.
Really?
He said he had to actually go to my Google Plus page and go through there. He said there's something, YouTube is all jacked up. There's something weird with it.
Stuff that you've already put online, or just this one?
Just this one right now. Let me know about how did your week go?
Finish your week. I don't think you finished.
Oh, that was really it. That was it, because that was Saturday. My week normally finishes on a Sunday. I go Monday through Sunday for my running week.
Me too.
So yeah, so I just did I did 2 5Ks, a 10K, the 22K. And I planned on doing another 10K last night, but because of my foot and the way it was feeling, that I just scrapped that. But yeah, so I didn't do very much last week, sadly. Oh well. So did you have another 100-mile week?
Yep, I just pulled the thing up now. 160K, which is just a fraction under 100 miles. So I got that in. That was good. I ran every day. Mostly I did. Sunday I did 32K around home, about 4:30 pace. Monday doubles, 16 in the morning, 9 in the evening. Tuesday same deal. Wednesday just 15K. Thursday 23. Friday 14, and Saturday I did 26. That made me up. That got me up. Saturday I did a race, and 21 of those was a half marathon. It's a Kansai Ladies Half Marathon, which was my first race in 6 months, which I did all right. I mean, I wanted to it was hot at the end. It got up to 28, so I couldn't expect miracles. But it was a relatively flat loop of about 3K. Ran around there about 7 times, and the trouble is, when they started, the really fast guys, the younger guys, about 6 of them took off, and there was about 4 in our group, little group, and they couldn't keep up with me, so I ended up stuck. I always get stuck in this no man's land between the really good guys and the medium pack guys. So I'm always by myself a lot in these races. I either should drop back or get faster. So I don't know. I'm in this no man's land all the time, running by myself, which I don't like. And if you want to run a good race, you need to be within a group. I think you feed off it, and it keeps the rhythm going. But I ran by myself for like 6 of these 3K loops. But it was all right. I mean, it was good to run again and to race. So I get 1 hour. My time was 1 hour 21 something. So that was all right. My PB is like 1:18. So at this stage, since I haven't been racing and I haven't been really training, I'm pretty happy with it. So I got another half marathon at the end of this month, and I want to try to PB that one. And so that was a Saturday. I round that off and just jogged the extra couple of Ks just to get my 100 miles up. And today I did a 3,000 meter. Today in Japan, maybe people don't know, but it's Monday, which is Monday public holiday. It's Taiko no Hi, which is a sports day. And all around Japan, they have something related to sports. Like the local area where I live, it's South Osaka. It's a place called Sakai City, which has a population of 2 or 3 million. Big, like a satellite suburb of Osaka. But they had their own Sakai Olympics, and all different events, and the different wards and stuff entered. I was entered in the adults race for the 3,000 meters. The first time I've done a track race, and it was good. I mean, the atmosphere was good, but it was hot again, and I think I was tired from my Saturday race. But I did the best I could. I came 9th out of like 30 people, and got 10 minutes 25. Was it 10 minutes 25 seconds, something like that? Yeah, so not bad.
Cool.
I mean, not good. I think I wanted to get under 10. That was just, my PB is like 10:15. That was a few years ago. I've never run like short races, and these are interesting. As in, I hate them because they hurt so much. I prefer to run slow and
well, that's what I've heard before. Like I've listened to, like, say, for example, you talk, the 3 Non-Joggers podcast, and they talk about like ultra runs or marathons versus like the 5 and 10Ks. They say those guys, the runners are like, they say they'd rather even if you run a 5K, maybe it's like it's less than 20 minutes or something if you're obviously a fast person, but it's just pure explosive pain the entire time because you're just running balls out.
That's right.
The shortest race I've ever run has been 10K actually, so I've never even run a 5K. Sometimes I'll test myself kind of just on a training run. I'll try to find a flat route and just see what I can do. But
what I've read, I mean, it's sort of also counterintuitive, but what I've read is if you can improve your short distances, then it's going to translate into improved long distances.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it sort of makes sense, but it doesn't in a way. But there's a guy, if any of the people watching want to see somebody who has made a marked improvement, there's a guy, I don't know his family name, but he lives in Ireland and he's from Australia. His name's Matt, and it's Beer Matt. That's his nickname, Beer Matt. And he has a blog called Marathon Exploits. You can search it and find it. Blog. And he's he was just a journeyman runner, and he was like 3:30 for about 4 years or something. Then he started to run track, and his marathon times, he's got down to he's got like 2:25 or something.
Oh, really?
He runs half marathons at about 1:12 or something like that. But he says that he didn't start to improve his marathon or half marathon times until he started to do track, and that helped him. And I was thinking today as I was running and my chest was paining, and I was thinking, shit, I wanted to stop. But if you do, it's psychological too, right? If you do that enough times, you get used to that pain, and you can just run through it, I think. But if you've never done it before, it's sort of shocking to the system. Your body's saying, Jesus, don't do it, right? But I mean, this is the first time I've done it. I'm sure if I do it, I'm thinking now I should try every month just to go to the track and run balls out, see how hard I can do 3K, and try to improve on the time each time. It'll depend on the day how you feel, and maybe you won't improve every month, but some month, as long as you see a steady increase, I'm sure that's going to improve your overall all time, because it's hard. I mean, mentally that was tough, and I don't think if there wasn't people there, I would have just pulled off the track, I think, because I was tired and I just didn't want to really be there.
Well, everyone says speed work. You know, if you wanted to make better times every week, you got to do some speed work, and or in a case like that. Oh, okay.
Anyway, that's it. So next week it'll be a bit lighter. I'll drop down a bit, maybe 120K will be enough. You don't want to always run too much, and you have a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, 3 weeks high and then 1 week low, like that. That'll make sure you don't get too tired. So anyway, I'm on track for Osaka. Things are looking good. We'll see. My next race is October 28th, half marathon. So if I don't do well there, then I'll be worried. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy the way things are going.
Cool. So as we go on, I'm looking at this. I've had some people have told me that I'm looking at comments. Oh, Nick is here, by the way. Hey, Nick. Nick has joined us. And people cannot access this through my YouTube channel. So they're clicking on the link, and it's just sending them to my main page, but there's no video to watch. Again, I mentioned the Cajun Gaijin, who lives in Nara. He does a show on Sunday nights. He said the same thing happened with his... He does a show every Sunday night, and the same thing happened last night with him. So the only thing I care about is that it gets posted, the final version later, so then I can grab that and save it and edit it, I hope. Even though I'm not a man of faith. Well, maybe not so much. Not.
That's the best we can do, isn't it?
Yeah. So there we go. That's our weekend training for each of us. Scott's was a little bit more interesting than mine. But I did run by the ocean on Saturday, and that was nice. So today we're going to we're going to add a couple of new sections, which we'll do each week. Each week we are going to talk about a new race, or about a race or a run in Japan, and we're also going to have a portion where we talk about gear. By the way, I've just been asked, and I will say this. I just got a text message from someone who's watching us live. A friend of mine and coworker has asked me to give a shout out to the Osaka Dingoes. The Osaka Dingoes, Australian football team. They're a part of JAFL, the Japan Australia Football League. So if you're interested in Australian football, go to osakadingos.com. Okay, and you can check it out. A couple of my friends play on the team. There we go. And I have lost Scott. Scott has just dropped out of here for some reason. So it is just me right now. So hopefully Scott can jump back into the Hangout. Let's see. I'll try to grab, invite him again in here, and let's see if this works. I'll send another invite to Scott. So we'll kind of jump around a bit since I'm the only one here right now, and Scott has popped out. We're having a lot of problems tonight. I'm gonna jump right to this kind of gear review. So Scott and I each week, one of us will just pick a piece of gear of equipment that we use when running, and talk about it and how it makes us better runners for it. So today I want to talk about, and I have it right here. This is my Montbell running shell. Okay, so this is kind of more like a windbreaker than anything. And I picked this up last year from the Montbell shop, one of the local Montbell shops. So this is a very thin shell, and that's exactly what it is. It's not a running jacket per se. So this is something I wear in early spring, early late fall. I tend to wear this one on rainy days, and this is pretty good. So basically, what this offers me, it's essentially like a windbreaker. So I wear this on days when it's not quite cold enough for me to wear a running jacket, and but it's a bit too chilly for just a long sleeve shirt or a t-shirt. So I picked this up at the Montbell store. Now, if you're not familiar with Montbell, I believe, is an American brand of running equipment, or not running equipment, but outdoor apparel. So basically, it's the shop. I guess I could describe it as it's a hiking shop. So lots of great gear, and I really like it. They're throughout Japan, and they're pretty much located all over the place in bigger cities, urban areas, and they've got everything from like hiking boots to hiking clothes. They've got lots of tents. You can buy kayaks there, mountain climbing gear. I bought a lot of things there. You can buy camelbacks, you can buy hydration belts, you can buy hydration vests. So a lot of different gear that's good for runners. They also sell trail shoes, their own brand of trail running shoes. So it's a good kind of outdoor adventure place altogether. And this one is, I wore this maybe last week, and you saw some of on my Run 'Cause It's Fun channel, you saw some of my running in a typhoon videos, and I was wearing this. So it's good. It keeps you a little bit warm. It doesn't keep you dry. It'll be soaking wet if you're wearing this running in the rain. But there you go. So I do wear running jackets. I've got a great Nike running jacket. I've got a... Hey, how you doing, Scott?
Sorry. I don't know what happened there.
Who knows? I just actually spent a few minutes talking about my the running gear chat while you were out.
Really?
So I talked about my Montbell running shell. And actually, there's some real issues tonight here actually with Google Plus and Google Hangouts, because even just when I'm on by myself right now, it's like incredible lag time, and the picture quality is really low. Obviously, people aren't able to watch us live through YouTube for whatever reason. It's appearing in people's subscription feed, so it looks like it's there. When they click on it, there's no video to watch.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have a lot of running jackets, but this is just a simple, very light running shell. And I was saying that. So it's from Montbell, which I love. I love the Montbell store. Great outdoor gear, kind of hiking gear, camping gear.
Kind of expensive, but nice. Yeah.
Well, actually, in Japan, it's not that expensive, relatively speaking, compared to other shops. I mean, it's, as far as Japan goes, I think I would almost compare it to like REI in the States. We have a place called MEC in Canada, Mountain Equipment Co-op. It's relatively affordable compared to brands like Patagonia and stuff like that, where it's like Ichiman-en or like $120 for a T-shirt. Yeah, but the people who wear it normally would never go outside where they might get dirty.
Right.
But yeah, so I just wear this shell. I was saying I wear it on days in the fall when it's not quite cool enough for my running jacket, but it's a bit too chilly to be wearing just a short sleeve shirt, or on rainy days. It doesn't keep me dry, but it kind of like a windbreaker. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go, guys. A very short little gear review tonight. Montbell Montbell equipment. They got some good stuff out there. So if you're in Japan and you're looking for a relatively affordable, it's still a bit pricey, but it's better than other brands. Check out a Montbell shop. A lot of fun stuff there. Oh, Scott, a race. You have a race you want to talk about today?
Yeah, I think this is. Hang on a minute. This is part of the problem. I got all the stuff online, the information about this race, and now I can't get access.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know what the hell's my. When I click on the links that I put on my desktop, it just doesn't come.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It's like I can go back. Let me go. Give me a few minutes.
Okay.
And I'll find.
Oh, by the way, you know what? I can't believe I'm absolutely kicking myself for this. I just had this moment where I realized around 9 p.m. tonight, or even later, about 9:15. Like every year for like the last 5 years, I've watched the Chicago Marathon live, and it's like one of my favorite marathons to watch. and I totally forgot about it this year. I was just like literally. I was like, I follow a bunch of different runners in my Twitter feed, and there was a guy who put up a picture of him running the Chicago Marathon, and I saw it around 9:20. I'm like, Chicago Marathon, and I googled. I'm like, what? That was yes. Ah, no.
Good race. It was a good race.
Yeah, well, I watched the highlights. They say, what's it? Kabili? Kibidi from Ethiopia won. He set a new course record.
Yes.
So he got the $50,000 bonus, which is nice because the new course record was set last year as well.
Yeah. He's a workhorse, that guy. One of the most consistent marathoners in the world today. I love him. He's such a short little thing, and he's just he's got
tiny.
It was him and Semi Wanjiro in 2010 that had that epic battle at the end. Semi Wanjiro pulled away from him, but
he just blew this one out. There was no one around him. It was like that last year too. I can't remember who won last year, but it was a blowout.
Moses, something. The same guy won Boston, I think.
Yeah,
that was that was a good race. Chicago's amazing. I think
the women's race was a tight one too.
Yeah, less talent in the women's race, but it was good.
I'd love to run that. I'd love to run that someday. Chicago.
Yeah, John. What's her name? John. One of the commentators.
Joan Benoit Samuelson.
Yeah, she said that she'd never seen a women's race where they hung together, such a group hung together for the final 10K or something. So she was really impressed with that.
Yeah, I was just on the NBC Chicago affiliate channel watching. But
what was good was the picture. The picture was good. It normally breaks up and it's all wonky, but it was good last night, and you could see it well.
Damn it! You knew about it and you were watching it. I can't believe I forgot it.
And I thought if you're on Twitter, I thought you would have just picked it up.
I wasn't. I was to be honest. I worked a 7-day work week.
You went to bed like at 9 or something, didn't you? I heard something. You said I'm going to bed, and I was shocked because it was so early.
It's happened a few times this week because I'm just so knackered from my work schedule, and stuff like that. So I just literally I put my son to bed every night, and my son's 2 years 3 months old, and then some nights when I'm really tired, I'm just like, I'm just gonna go to bed when he goes to bed. And there's other nights literally I'll put him in his bed and I'll fall asleep on the floor beside him, or I'll fall asleep on his bed.
Right.
And I'll wake up. There's been a few times actually, a couple of last week I think before our show here on Monday night. I literally woke up about 20 minutes before it was time to get on air here. I woke up about 9:40 and I was just all groggy and kind of stumbling through my apartment oh God, I gotta go on Google Hangouts. I felt like I was hammered yet hadn't had any beer yet. But yeah, so actually, well, as far as races goes, I threw this on tonight. Check out this shirt.
Nice.
Have you ever heard of this one?
Kobe Love. Yeah, is that? No, I have heard of it. I never did it, but I got the pamphlet a few times.
It's on Port Island where I live.
Yeah.
And it's the Sunday before Valentine's Day, and it's a they got a 5K, a 10K, they got a kids run, they've got a half marathon, and then they have a relay type thing. And I ran it in 2009, 2010. And to be honest, so this is I've run the half marathon both years, and to be honest, it's a pretty boring as shit kind of run because Port Island is not a very scenic place, and you're just kind of looping around a few times.
Any people watching? Any really?
Not really, no, because you're kind of running through industrial areas and stuff, and there's not at the finish line. There's a ton of people. That's a real buzz on the island, and there's a few sections actually where there's some people out cheering. You run by some universities and stuff, and there's some people out there. But for most of it, you're kind of running through industrial areas. And it's but the last 2 years, I tried to register, but I couldn't because it was just sold out like that. Which is the thing that I've been finding. I've only been running in Japan since 2008, and in 2008, 2009, if I wanted to run in a run, a lot of the smaller runs, which are first come first serve, I had no problem with getting a spot. But in the last 2 years, things have blown out, and the Kakagawa Marathon, which is on the 23rd of December. I got to get off my butt and maybe check that one out too soon. Um, I wanted to run that last year, so I went to register the beginning of November, but it had already been completely filled up.
Mm.
Like they're really running is becoming very trendy now.
Mm.
For I mean, I know it's always been more popular in Japan than in other places, but it's really I think a lot of that has to do with the time with like kind of the remember Hazama Kampe-san when he did his run around the world, which a lot of people weren't really following until near the end. But near the end, God, it was just everywhere you went. Kampe-san, which is great. But I can remember people were all buying his New Balance line of shoes, his New Balance line of clothes. And I think that kind of. And there was a lot of different TV shows on about people running across Japan and stuff.
Yeah, it's a perfect storm. I don't know, and Olympic build-up, everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to see him coming in when he came, Osaka-jo with my family. It was like maybe 12 deep as far as you could see. It's amazing.
That's awesome. I would have loved to have done that. I was working.
It was at night time, yeah, and
I was working.
My kids on my shoulders, and I enjoyed it. It was a good atmosphere. I mean, it was
when Kampe,
he did, yeah.
Well, yeah, when he was running around the world, he was putting up. He had his own YouTube channel, and he was putting up a video blog every day of the run for 2 years or whatever it was. And he, so I remember that year, my class and
even when he was on the boat, was he even doing?
No, not on the boat. But once he got on land, and then my class and I were actually for like the final 2 months of his run, we were following it every day. We had a time where we'd sit down every day after lunch, my whole class, and we'd watch the Kampe-san video from that day.
That's called Kevin's time, right?
Shh, educational. The kids were learning a lot. I suppose in many ways they were. But yes, it was Kevin's time.
Interesting.
And then now we're going to watch 20 minutes of hockey, kids.
That's good.
We're going to watch the highlights from last night.
All right, I got my marathon, but
all right, awesome.
What I want to do here, I mean, from now on, is I want to tell people about marathons they don't know about. But I think I just picked some low-hanging fruit today, simply because it's timely and it's easy for people to get to, and it's a classic marathon, like I talked about before. So it's Nagano, right? And the thing is, which is Sunday, April 21st, 8:30 in the morning. But the online, I mean, you can access this online, it's easy as going to Nagano Marathon 2013. But the good thing about this is the first come first serve marathon. I think it's like 10,000 people. But I mean, I think if you're going to get into a marathon, you're pretty assured. If you can register on the same day, you're going to get in, I think, this one. And the registration opens exactly, I don't know, check it out, but it's October 27th, or something like this.
The registration opens on October 27th?
Yeah, which is soon, so just
when is the run again? I'm sorry?
April 21st, 2013.
Okay.
And it's a spring marathon. I also... lost you again. I've also... I wrote, when I first ran it, I think it was 2007, something like that. But I wrote a long blog about it, a really detailed blog on my longrunblogspot.com. So you can find it there.
There'll be a link to that below, guys.
Go there and just type into search Nagano Marathon on my blog, and you'll find it. But that will tell you. I detailed every turn and everything I did in that race. I can't remember now, but it's a beautiful race and it's easy, And the thing is, it's an hour and a half by Shinkansen from fast train from Tokyo, 4 hours from Osaka. But the trains are like you have to take the trains here. That's part of coming to Japan. If you come to Japan and don't take trains, like coming and not going to England and not seeing, was it?
Big Ben?
Middleton's breast or something like that.
No.
I can't. There's nothing. But you have
Not riding a double-decker bus? I don't know.
That's it. That's okay. That's same. That's better. But yeah, it's great. So the trains are wonderful, and you can relax and drink beer, and it's so simple to get to. And Nagano's hotels are wonderful and relatively cheap. So you stay over there the night before, register on the Saturday, stay the Saturday night. They bus you from the main train station to the start, and away you go. And they take care of foreigners really well. They're used to foreigners there.
Oh, great.
So, that's a really good race to just whet your appetite for Japan. But next week I will get something more obscure and try to give more details.
Great. But by the way, you know what? The one when you mentioned Nagano Marathon, the first thought that pops into my head was I read an article in JapanToday.com maybe about 2 years ago where they talked about the Nagano Marathon. And what I remember is that a whole bunch of runners, like 20 or 30 runners, were stung by Suzumebachi, the giant Asian hornets. So somehow, for whatever reason, a bunch of angry hornets stung a bunch of people, and those are big bad bastards of bees or of hornets, as Suzumebachi. But I remember reading about that.
Japan is so well. The organization of races are so good here. They don't cut corners, so that was a good thing. Anyway,
well, yeah. I was just on a different, kind of on that topic. Even like I ran Osaka and Kobe last year, which was the first time for each one, and I have to admit that for two first-time major marathons, I thought they were put together quite well. They ran quite smoothly. A bit of confusion both times when I went to the Race Expo and I was trying to sign in and get me here. They were very confused about having a foreigner there, and the fact that I was a foreigner. The same thing happened at both expos. They were both like, it just kind of jarred their brains that I was a foreigner, but I was actually registered with a Japanese address, and that my application had been filled out in Japanese. So they were just like, "Wah!" And then they wanted my passport, but I didn't have a passport. I had my foreigner ID card because I am a resident here, and that just fried their brains. But I'm sure this year it's gonna be better for that, you know.
Yeah, they didn't. It's interesting. When I went to the expo, I noticed that there weren't many like white. There were a few, but mostly Hong Kong Chinese and Malaysian.
Kobe too. Very few visible non-Japanese people.
Yeah, it'll change. It'll change.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I heard Osaka's been elevated to the top 10 best marathons in the world now. I don't know. It was somebody sent me a link to that. So, but I don't know how they did that. But I mean, it's going to be years to come. It'll be good, right? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be number 2 this year. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's a wonderful race. But everybody in Tokyo, has trouble with the weather. I mean, I think. Oh God, the year I ran it was freaking miserable. I ran in 2010. It was awful. It was raining. It was snowing. It was raining. It was snowing. It got sunny. Oh. Yeah. I was like convulsing. It was so cold at the end of that race. I was like shaking and. I was fine at the end of it. It was in the beginning. At the end of it, it was beautiful and sunny, blue skies. At the beginning, like queued up in Shinjuku there. And if you run like I am, you're in one of the way back. You're in one of the corrals in the back, and basically lined up for God knows how long, and like getting there and stuff. And it was freezing rain, which turned into snow, and then back into freezing rain. And I'm standing there, and thank God I was going to be wearing a I was going to be wearing a T-shirt. The gear I bought, I had a T-shirt and shorts. But for the night before, 2 nights before at the expo, for some reason I decided to buy a long sleeve shirt, and I bought gloves at the expo. I didn't have gloves, and then I looked out. I had my hotel in Shinjuku, and I just looked out that morning. And I'm like, oh well, guess what I'm wearing today? I put on the long sleeve shirt and the gloves, and I know that normally it's a good rule of thumb to not wear a brand new shirt on a big run. You should wash it first, but whatever. Yeah, I was seriously standing in my corral, and it was pouring so heavily that I couldn't see like three people in front of me, and it was like a joke. I was thinking, this is bullshit. But it did that for about, I don't know, 15 minutes. Actually, like someone's pouring a bucket over you. It was amazing. Amazing heavy weather. But that's cleared up. Hopefully, I don't know, I think November 25th for Osaka is going to be perfect. That time of year is pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool. I just hope I don't have a fever this year when I run it.
Yeah. That's it. I always, I mean, for about 6 of my first 15 marathons, I had a fever. I don't know what that is. I think it's psychological too, or maybe it's coming too much training and then coming down. But yeah, it's the worst feeling. Getting sick just before a marathon.
Yeah, I think and maybe that's what it is. It's definitely could be psychological, but nonetheless, I mean, I got through it slowly.
Look at that. Are you when you talk? You've been on this main screen all the time. I'm not popping up there anymore.
You are on my screen.
Oh, okay. I knew you just static.
No, really, no. On my screen, you're popping up whenever you speak.
Really? Okay.
It's working. It seems to be working that way. I'm looking at the comment section. There's not much going on, of course. We got 11 wonderful viewers out there. Thank you for finding us, guys. It's basically I had to go through Google Plus to find us. But again, this will be posted, the edited version, if it works. It will be posted on our channel, on Run 'Cause It's Fun, my running channel, tomorrow or the next day. I don't know if hopefully things work out. I hope it gets processed and posted later. What do we have here? Shame you didn't have your Montbell windbreaker in Tokyo. That's what Nick Ramsey just says. That is a shame, Nick. God, I wish I had this thing then. I was underprepared for that weather. So I'm looking at the time. We're coming up on an hour or so. And
sections, didn't we? We got
we got our sections. I think next time hopefully we won't have these technical glitches, but this can't be helped. It's out of my control. It's out of your control. So this is episode number 4 of Running in Japan, which is cool. And I think all of you out there watching will notice hopefully a progression as each episode goes along. Things will be getting a little more fine-tuned, edited a bit more, and just kind of a little more tight. It's a work in progress, but it's a lot of fun to do. Maybe next week we can. The feed people actually, I'd like to get on sometime. I'd like to get Are you familiar with Reynolds Air?
Yeah.
Jonathan Reynolds. He just ran yesterday. He ran a 35-kilometer trail race in Kyoto.
Right.
And it's the longest distance he's gone. Well, like in a race. I think before that he's only run a 10K. He's been training a ton though. He's been running a lot.
I've noticed his times he's like just normal training times are getting fast.
He's built for running though. He's got a good build for it actually. He's slender and kind of small. He's really built for it. He's not kind of a lumbering, stocky guy like myself. But he's
wonderful watching people progress.
No, but I've known Jonathan now since I've come to Japan, and I met him shortly after I arrived in Japan, and he's only recently become a runner. Within the year 2012, and he's really progressed. It's amazing, him talking about doing 20-mile runs and stuff like that, making videos about it and stuff, and I'm very impressed. And his time's getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Yeah, it's great. But I'd like to get him on to talk about that run too, because he said it was supposed to be a really neat a trail run, and then at the end they had lunch somewhere, and then they go to an onsen, and yeah. So I'll contact him. Maybe we get him on sometime. Right. But so for all of you out there watching, you can watch this again in a more edited, kind of shorter version in the next few days on youtube.com/run-'cause-it's-fun. And you can check out Scott's blog, very informative running blog. The link will be below. And again, what is your blog title?
The Long Run. You can find it.
The Long Run. Okay, and the link will be below, and I'll also put it up on the screen here at some points during the show. And you guys all know where to find me if you're watching this right here on Google Plus at YouTube.com. Well, I really for this run because it's fun. YouTube.com/run because it's fun. All the links are below. You can follow me on Twitter at JLandKev, JLAND Kev. That means like Japanland Kev. Some people I know, like I'm a big proponent of the Three Non-Joggers podcast, and a few times they've mentioned me on the show, and I've heard other people say this, they're like JL and Kev. They think it's like the initials of. They think for some reason it's like the initials of my wife and me, like whoever JL would be and Kev, but it's J Land Kev, like Japan Land. I don't know. Huh. And how can we find you on Twitter, sir?
My Twitter is Samurai Running. You find me there.
Lots of entertaining tweets.
A couple of tweets. Did you read my tweets tonight?
No.
I love tweeting. I mean, it's so much fun.
But your tweets are always entertaining as hell. So I love reading your tweets. I wasn't on Twitter. I was going through the whole giving my son a shower and getting ready for bed process up until pretty much the time I got on with you here. Yeah, I was on a bit of a Twitter blackout. And yeah, so you guys can. We'll be back here next week, same time, same place. Hopefully, YouTube and Google will cooperate more, and more of you can watch us live. But again, nonetheless, you can always watch us here. I'll promote this when I get the video up on the Run 'Cause It's Fun channel. I'll tweet the hell out of it. I'll put it on my Facebook, Google Plus, and spread the word, folks. All right.
Hopefully, I'll have a Mont Blanc shell next week wearing one.
You're gonna wear one just while we do it.
One they send me after you.
That's right, guy. Hey, if any of you out there are working for any kind of large sports apparel company, please send us shit. Maybe I think we'll be a bit bigger than we are right now to kind of get that kind of thing. But maybe someday, dare to dream. All right, guys. So take care. And from Kobe, Japan, I'm Kevin. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, thank you, Scott from Osaka. Take care. See you next week.
All right, guys. Take care. Thank you for checking out episode number 4 of Running in Japan. See you.
Bye.